What's up, people? Muggy Maniac here. Kind of a do-over of the last upload where, I'm still got the modified Novorossi Rex Legend 28.8 in the Techno. The last run, I had a steering servo go out on me, so the video was, I got a little bit of footage, but I didn't even really get a chance to tune on it. I mean, right after that video, I maybe ran a tank, so I'd say we're on tank number 15. We've roughly we're getting close to 2 quarts, so close to half a gallon through it. Now, one thing about these Novorossis, as far as my experience, I know stock's different from modified. By the way, welcome all Muggy Maniacs, Truggy Maniacs, Buggy Maniacs, Monster Truck Maniacs, and Fifth Scale Insaniacs. Off the hook. Shout out to all my brothers, Elite RC, Mr. John Bodagel, and Raja 111. Those are the main guys that I kind of keep in tune with. 2 of them obviously are doing a lot more Fifth Scale. Raja is doing a lot of more, he's strictly nitro as far as what I've seen. Although he is, I'm taking he's more of a racer. He likes to race. So if you're race inspired, here's a race inspired tip for you, Raja. This is a Works EFRA 2058. They carry them in AMA. They're about $100. This came free with the matching tuned header with the OS XR Max .21 that I'm getting modified by Rick. So, it works as Italian. So this is an Italian. I kind of like to keep I don't mix like to mix the Japanese, whether it's pipes or motors, with Italian. I keep the Italians with the Italian stuff and the Japanese with the Japanese stuff. Just for whatever reason, they seem to run better. Not that you can't mix them and run Japanese pipes on Italian motors and vice versa. Japanese motors with Italian pipes, but I just like to keep them kind of, keep it in the family, so to speak. But anyway, this Works pipe, I checked, I did a little bit of research. This pipe here is similar to an 086. Has a lot of bottom end snap. It's a screaming pipe. It's got a pretty much the power band bottom, mid, and top is pretty consistent all the way through. Although it is a lot more punchy on the bottom, which I prefer. I believe I'm running a 13 pinion, so I ran 14s on the Techno with the modified motor. This is the first time running the modified 28.8 Novorossi on the Techno, and I don't know, these motors are kind of auditioning as well as the platforms. As far as what I mean by that is what truggy or buggy that I'm going to run these motors in. I pretty much know that the .21 modified Reds is going to stay pretty much in the Mugen. That's what I got it for. It loves the Mugen. It's plenty for the Mugen. Still kind of messing around with that. That'll be coming up soon. But like I said, I'm trying to keep in order as I'm braking and running fuel. I'm at the point now where I'm just running tank after tank, tank after tank after tank, which is, kind of like I think the 4th phase or 5th phase or whatever of break-in, where you're just running tank after tank. Especially these Novorossi 28.8s, the Rex Legends, you're not going to really get a set, like, perfect tune on it. Not that it doesn't tune well already. I'm kind of dialing it in right now. But until about 2 gallons, that's just the way these motors are. Modified or stock, doesn't matter. You can even ask Rick at R&B, he'll tell you the same thing. The Novorossi motors just really don't get seated as far as the sleeve and the piston until about 2 gallons. So we're getting there. I'd say another gallon of fuel and this thing will be just rocking and rolling. But it's already ripping, man. I'm going to fire it up in a minute. I just kind of wanted to give you a heads up before I fire this thing up. Of kind of where I bash at or where I mess around at. This is like right down the street, maybe a block from where I live, so it's pretty convenient. I like it because you've got, a wide area of grass. If you look way over there, you can run Fifth Scales in here. There's nothing really in the middle. It's not a public park, kind of. It's buried in between a bunch of residential, so it's pretty private, kind of, I guess, for the homeowners here. I'm, like I said, right around the corner. But you know, you got a little stretch of the dirt right there, which has got a lot of rocks in it, but it rained a couple days ago. It's like 60 today or something like that. So I mean, this stuff does pelt the shit out of your plastics. I'm glad I've got mud guards. As far as the Techno's got graphite. I think they're graphite or carbon fiber mud guards, and as you can see, I've only ran for maybe about 15 minutes, and they're pretty caked. This bitch is gonna get dirty, but that's okay. This is like the third time running it, so it's about time to completely tear it down. After this run, it's gonna get fully ripped apart and gone through and everything, just to check out everything. I might pull the Novarossi, the modified motor, apart just to kind of check it, even though it doesn't have that much fuel through it. But you know, like I said, you want to protect your investment. You know, I invested, you know, $300 in this motor, and I want to make sure that everything's good to go. And main thing that I'm learning from tearing apart motors and watching guys like Mike Kullick, that's the tuner and mechanic for Elliott Boots, which is like one of the top, in the top 5 nitro buggy and truggy guys in the world. He does run reds, so does Mayfield. Mayfield runs reds too. And these guys, you know, to say, hey, you know, a lot of it is in your filter, man. It's so important, man. That filter is going to keep any kind of dust, dirt, debris from getting in your motor, and, you know, to basically prevent from destroying your motor. These outer motor savers, I recommend. Some guys, I know guys, especially that run low Cs, will just put the outerwear over it. I suggest you just, I mean, they make them for every vehicle pretty much. Get the motor saver, which is a triple layer. Instead of just having the one filter, it's actually got, like, I think 2 or 3 filters. I mean, you probably won't clean these maybe every 2 gallons. No matter where you run it, that's how much it protects the motor. And when I pull them apart from running these filters, I can tell there's no debris on my crank, no wear. You're going to see the wear. When you get shit in your motor, you're going to see the wear on your crank, and that's not good. And then there's obviously going to be shit inside of there, which eventually can damage your motor. So it's going to run you for the outerwear and the motor saver, something like this, which fits underneath the, I don't know about the low C, but it fits underneath the this Techno barely. I mean, as you can see, it's a beast of a frickin' air filter, man. It's a heavy duty monster filter, but I mean, hey, this is modified. This isn't stock anymore. And it fits underneath the MBX 7TR. But anyway, so this pipe, this Works pipe, which is Italian, this combo was a third of the class in 2015 or 14, you know, a few years ago. I mean, actually many years ago. And I think the guy that won the FMAR Worlds, I forgot his name, then won with this pipe. So, I mean, I got it for free. If you want to get it, brand new, A-Main carries it, $100 I think, 99, something like that with the header. So I like it. I mean, I like the Pico pipe too. I'm still waiting on, you know, 9886 Novarossi, which, you know, you obviously got to have the Novarossi 9886 and both the headers, the 41031 and the 41032. So that's another, you know, almost $200 investing right there. But, you know, that's a lot to do with the performance of your motor, man. That's the lungs. So anyway, you know, there's dirt, there's grass, there's a lot of gophers out here. So you get gophers popping up, you know, their heads, you know, every once in a while. I've seen them pop out while I'm running. But it makes for really cool, I don't know, you want to call them mobiles, but they're almost like landmines. You got to be careful flying through this shit. Hit one of those little piles of dirt, you know, and they'll throw you for a loop. I've done a couple of those. And it's also got, you know, concrete strips, straightaways. It's got some wood chips over here. I don't run too much in that. You get a lot of wood chips lodged in your shit. So anyway, without further ado, let's fire this baby up and let's get her ripping. Let me get my little stand here. And let's fire this bad boy up. Let's get her rocking and rolling. Swear, there's nothing like the smell of 3011 Byrons, which is all I run. This also, let's let you know, these 28.8 Novarasis, they like to run really fat. This needle is almost flush all the way up, maybe a little bit out. Likes to run real. When you try to lean it until you really get them seated and run a lot of fuel through them. I had this situation with the stock one. I couldn't really get it leaned even a little bit until I ran about over a gallon through it. So I tried to lean it a little bit, but it wants to bog a little bit top end, and then when I richen it up, it's fine. So anyway, let's fire this baby up, get this bad boy going. Another thing too, I kind of like to scout the area before I run, because especially with the weather, the rain changes shit, and last thing I need to do is to run this thing into a frickin' hole or a trench and tear something up. So I've done that before, and I've hit a piece of wood that I couldn't see. You know, if I would have checked out the area, I would have seen it, but I didn't, and I went a little bit off the trail. I caught it, and it tore my front, my MBX, my Mugen buggy, tore the arm right off pretty much. So, you know, you can run a full day without having any issues, you know, as long as you do the right preparation. And I like to use a motor heater, not just when it's cold like this, but I like to use it all the time, just because it's less stress on the start on your rod, your piston, your sleeve, your bump box, you know, just everything. And then I don't have to waste a bunch of fuel, you know, for it to get warmed up, because I usually get it to about 150 before, so. Uh-oh. Am I not connected, people? It's the only thing. I don't have a switch hooked up. I had a problem with the switch. I have a new one. I just got to put it in. So I don't have to take this little cover off every time I go to connect my transmitter, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But anyway, oh, yep, didn't plug it in all the way. Okay, what's going on here? Helps if you plug the plug in right side up, knucklehead. Yeah, always make sure you plug your plug in the right way. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, this park is pretty quiet. That's one of the reasons, you know, there's not a lot of foot traffic. You know, every once in a while you get the kids running around, they want to come up and touch your stuff, and you're like, you know, hey, you got to tell the parents, you know, this, you might not want to touch it. It might be kind of hot right now, so don't recommend that. So anyway, top this tank off, get some fuel through this bad boy. And these things do eat fuel, especially the stock one already did. Modified, man, this thing eats fuel like a mother. The only ones you're going to get good fuel economy is your .21s, but nothing like the smell, the sound, and the feel of nitro, people. she's still cold. Gotta get her warmed up. Clear her out. Oh shit. Little wheelie action. Alright. She's running real rich. She likes to run rich though, man. I don't know why, but... Running a little fat on top. Very little fat. Alright people, let me throw the body on here. Gonna have to richen her up a little bit. Just a little. Flame out. Flame out. We gotta get her tuned in, people. I think she's idling too low. Usually that's what that means. So, let's get the idle down. Up a little bit. Idle is a little too low. Okay. Pushing it a little bit up. Okay. Hold on. Have the idle a little low. Fix that real quick. Get her ripping again. Okay, what are we at a temperature? We're about 172, so. All right. Alright, little technical difficulties there. Idle was kind of low. keeps cutting out on me. All right. I think the idle is still too low. But, see if we can get this bitch tuned in. I might as well not even put the body on right now, because she's just wanting to run. Oh. Every time I go to richen her up, or actually every time I go to lean her a little bit, she just doesn't want to lean right now. You hear that hesitation? And then when I richen it up, freaking boom, wheel. This thing these Rexes just like to run fat, man. I think John or somebody was telling me better run modified a little fat anyway. See, if I try to lean it, it'll hesitate. See, it's running fat, but yeah, she still needs to be broken in. I mean, this thing doesn't even have a half a gallon through it, so it's going to take time. I just know that that's what my stock 28.8 Novarasi didn't like to run any rich at all. Uh-oh, got some grass in there. she just likes her own fat. Alright people, well, this video might cut out, and I am going to put the body on. Oh yeah. She wants to get up. Oh yeah, she wants to get busy. She wants to get busy, yeah, so every time I try to lean it out, it doesn't want to, it wants to quit, and then it wants to cut out a little bit, so I'm just going to leave it fat for now until I get more fuel through it. Matter of fact, she's waking up though. She's getting evil. Well, people, there you go, man. I know this is a long video. I don't even know if this video is going to upload so long, but anyway, she's running good. I'm about done. See you guys back at the Nitro Cave.